Hello there guys, it's Mercia and welcome back to another product review. And today I have something that I've been really interested in checking out and have been really interested to do a video on, and it's the Tecware Pulse wireless gaming mouse. And I think this is Tecware's first wireless gaming mouse, and there's a lot of good things that I would like to say about this mouse, but there's also some reason that I wouldn't put this on my top list. But let's start with the content of the box first and the box itself. So first we have the Tecware Pulse right here, and the box, really cute box, really small. We have the picture of the mouse. I got it in white, you can get it in black. Tecware Pulse, very simple box. It's literally like a sleeve, and on the back we have the technical specs on it. And then inside the box you will get your mouse itself with dongle attached inside, a replacement shell cover, a button fiddle or buttons itself for the side buttons, and also the cable. So let's start with the shape. And when I first saw it in Shopee, Lazada, or even like the any pictures, right, it feels to me like it's another S2 clone, like the Fantech XD3, which I don't hate. The X2 clone is a very good shape, but it's not. Upon receiving it and upon using it for a bit, I find that it's slightly longer, slightly wider, with the hump towards the middle. So if you compare the size to the XD3, it is a slightly larger mouse, and you can really feel that. As you can see, the width of the mouse is slightly bigger, and the hump itself towards the back is more towards the front, and yes, towards the middle. But it's a very long mouse compared to the Fantech, so it just makes it feel slightly bigger, and it really changed my grips up. And I feel like this is a very comfortable ambidextrous shape. If you guys are coming from an ergo shape, like an ergonomic mouse, and you want to try ambidextrous, this is a very good one because it feels really comfortable to use on. The larger footprint just makes it so that I can take my hand and just like sit it here and use relaxed palm, which is my favorite grip. So the shape is fine. I feel like people with larger hand could easily fingertip grip this. Oh my god. People with my kind of hand size 19x10 could easily palm or even claw, but I feel like this is a very safe shape and very comfortable. Next, let's talk about the build quality. And the mice build is pretty solid at some place, especially the back, the honeycomb place here. If I just press as hard as I can, it activates nothing. I mean, you heard the click, I'll talk about that later, but it activates nothing. The side has no side creak, no side flex, so like the build quality on this mouse seems pretty good. But if you press right here hard enough, you'll actuate the side buttons, the back one to be exact. And I've never been able to do this in game, but it's just something that I should tell you guys about because I found it. But again, this never happens to me in game, so yeah, it's a bit weak right here. Nothing special though, nothing serious. Unless you can somehow actuate this in game and you own the mouse, please let me know because I've never been able to do that. And the mouse buttons also doesn't feel like they are seated properly. They're a bit rattly. And even just holding the mouse with all the buttons, there is still something rattling. I'm not sure if it's the sensor or if it's something else inside, but not really the most confident feeling mouse. But again, not a big deal. Very minor issues there. So build quality is pretty, I would say, decent. Not the best, not the worst. Aside from some rattling and the actuation of the right side buttons here, that's really nothing. The mouse feels really solid in hand. And next, let's talk about the buttons. And they are using Huano 20Ms, which I feel like is pretty decent. It's nothing special, and comparing to your, and like if you use something from the 5M Huanos or use the cheaper office mouse, this is a huge upgrade because the mouse button feels really good. Very well tensioned, very slight pre-travel, and a little bit of pose, and same goes to the right side. So they feel very good, the Huano 20. I'm a bit spoiled, but I still find that this button works well in game, and if you like fast-paced League of Legends, I don't think it's that hard to actuate it as well. So buttons, really good. I'll do a sound test later on. The scroll wheel has some rattle going up, and going down, but it's really easy to actuate middle click. So if you use push to talk, this doesn't feel like a hassle. The DPI button, however, really crispy. Unlike the a bit more mushier feeling of the XD3, this feels very, very, very crispy. And then we have the side buttons, which I feel like is the point of weakness with this mouse, just like the XD3. But the XD3 feel mushy. This feels cheap. Maybe it's because they are loose and they're trying to use this like magnetic thing again. You can use the cover to hide it or add more buttons on the right side, but my configuration have always just been the normal side buttons on the left only, and this feels slightly cheaper than I would like. It's hard to actuate at times because of the shape. Like, don't let the shape fool you. It looks good, but I feel like this curve makes it kind of hard to actuate when you're just resting your hand on it, that you have to like really press it in. So I don't like how these side buttons feel, but they sound good, I guess, comparing to the Helios XD3. A little bit cheap and mushy feeling as well. So let's give you, I guess, a proper sound test. So yeah, overall the buttons on this mouse does feel pretty decent. Nothing special to write home about it, but it's better than what I expected. So that's the button, and now we're talking about the sensor, which is the important part of the gaming mouse. But I feel like the 3335, which this mouse is using, is so well known at this point, and it's such a good sensor that if it's in a budget wireless mice, I would recommend you to just be crazy with the sensor, because it's really good, except for a lift-off distance issue, which I don't think most players would notice unless you're like really elitist about gaming mouse. The 3335 sensor performed very well in game for me. I play on 800 DPI on this mouse, but on Fantech Helios I've tried 400 and that works perfectly fine as well. But because of the larger mice, I've been using 800 and it feels really good. Just flicking really fast hasn't been an issue to me. And the sensor have no dropout connectivity as well. So the 3335 is really good. And while we're talking about connectivity, let's talk about the USB dongle. You can store it in the mouse right here when you first receive it or when you're on travel, so which is pretty nice. But the I've been using the USB dongle in my front I/O case on my computer, and it has zero dropout, zero lag, zero connectivity issues, which is really good. So just like the Fantech, top wireless performance for such a cheap price. Okay, now let's talk about the weight, which I feel like is something that I cannot wrap my head around, because the mice weighs with the side button configuration, by the way, and here. So with the solid cover, which I can argue looks really clean, by the way, the Tecware logo just in gray, it looks really clean, and the texture feels really nice too. But with the solid cover, it weighs around 91 grams, and with the honeycomb cover, it weighs 87 grams, which I don't mind. I feel like 87 and 91 with the larger footprint feels pretty good. But I've been spoiled. My current daily driver is the Model O-. I've used the Orochi V2, Wiper Ultimate, even the Fantech Helios XD3, but I wish the weight is starting at 83, 85 grams, but because it's larger, I understand, but it kind of bumps me out a bit. But again, 87 grams to 91 isn't the end of the world. I can still play properly with the 87 grams, because especially with the large size, so you don't really feel it, especially when you palm it on. So the weight is okay. But let's talk about the feet. So the feet is not that thick, actually, if you can see. I don't really have a point of, okay, Fantech is slightly thicker and Tecware isn't, so this results the mice doesn't glide that smoothly. Well, on my mousepad it does look smooth. I'm using the HyperX Fury, but it feels a little bit controlled at times, which I don't think is a bad thing. But the feet isn't anything special to write about. If there is replacement, I would replace this ASAP, but as a stock for this price one, I would give it a pass. And let's talk about the thing that I hate the most, the battery life. This mice drain battery so quickly that I start to doubt my life at that point. 2 days of battery life with 1000 Hertz polling rate and the RGB set on the default. And oh my god, the 400 milliamp hour battery here, just chow through batteries, the RGB LED and the DPI LED not being able to be changed. It crazy. Like the first day I got it, I played it and it went from 100% to 50, not even in a day, and I was like, that quick. And it really shows how much the 400 milliamp hour battery can do. I feel like if they want to do this smaller battery, might as well just get rid of the LED, right? You give it enough LED. And most users, if they want to benefit the battery life, they'll just put it on no LED mode and just stay with this DPI, which I think looks cleaner, it looks more professional, but it saves battery, which I feel like is just the right thing to do. And it really sucks because it really doesn't feel confident just using this mice. Like I could be playing and I'll be like, oh shit, did I charge? It might end soon. I remember my friend owned this and he was like playing Valorant, and then suddenly the mice was already shutting down. So like, I don't know, I don't feel the confidence in this gaming mouse. Even on the Helios XD3, which is a bigger battery mouse, if I use it really heavily, I can kill it in 5 days. But I can use it for more than a week normally, right? So being a much more smaller mouse with bigger battery but lighter weight, it kind of just makes me beg the question, is this side button really worth it? I feel like this side button does add a lot of weight, magnets, extra buttons, and the construction for it. But I just feel like getting rid of this left hand support will make this mouse way lighter than it actually is, and also give me a better side button because I hate the side buttons. But yeah, again, the battery is one of the worst thing about this mouse. Everything else is pretty decent until now. So yeah, battery life, I wish, I don't know. And also you cannot turn the brightness of the RGB lighter, so you cannot make it dimmer. This is on 100%, and unlike the Fantech, I could do it on 40, which saves battery even more. And I personally think the 40 and the 100, oh, why is it not? There we go. The 40 and the 100 doesn't look that different. Slightly dimmer, but still very, very visible. Okay, let's talk about the RGB of this mice before we go to the software. And you can do it hardware, you can do it locally on the mouse track here, but you can download your software and do it. But honestly, if you have no intention in changing the DPI, changing the side buttons, don't download the software. But let's start with the RGB here. We have my favorite, this is the Wave, I don't know what they're calling it. You know what, let's just open Tecware Pulse software so I know, because the naming is pretty weird. Okay, I'm Edwin from the future here. If the audio seems a bit different or if I randomly cut in between the video, I'm very sorry, but I feel like the software should be recorded instead. I think it's easier to show, right? But this is the Tecware Pulse software. As you guys can see, this is the battery life, no percentage or anything unfortunately, but this is only after a less of a day of usage. So you can see how much it drained from 100% with the configuration I showed in the video. This is less than half already. But yeah, so first we go to the first tab, the lighting. As you guys can see, this is the lighting tab. You can go steady, you can go change the color of it, the breathing, the colorful tail, the neon, all of this stuff. The LED off, flicker, star twinkle, wave. You can do all of these things, but again, as you guys can see on almost all of that, there is no brightness control, which sucks. Could help this battery a lot. And right here you can see all the things you can do on your mouse buttons. Very standard. Here's the polling rate. They call this the electronic sports mode, game mode, office mode, power saving. So of course you got 1000 Hertz. Now on DPI, again, you can set to change each color. You press this, you press the DPI itself, and then you change the color. So make sure you do that, and not the one highlighted. The one highlighted is what you're using. The blue highlighted is what you want to change. So just keep that in mind. Again, you can go up to 16,000, but I will use it 800 and 1800, and you can go up to 6 DPI stages, which is very decent. On parameter, it just shows the double click speed, the scrolling speed, the mouse sensitivity, just like pretty standard window mouse settings. And on the macro, this is where you create macro. So again, nothing special in this one. So overall, my conclusion, let's talk about price. I bought this for 145 ringgits, excluding shipping, but with shipping it's 152, which is like the standard pricing. But I feel like they're retailing this for 169. And if you're gonna talk about 169 pricing retail, it's good. It's really good, but I really wonder how much better it is compared to the Fantech. Now Fantech is more expensive at $209, or sometimes you can get it for cheap at $189. But at that price point, I'm really debate between buying this for the feature or buying this for the performance, because I won't make like a full comparison. I will if you guys want me to, but I feel like the Fantech has a better shape for performance. The slightly shorter, smaller S2 shape just feels nicer to like claw grip, and like even fingertip feels nice, but the claw grip on this mouse is really, really good. I feel like the Fantech has better buttons, the 150 amps, even the side buttons is so much better to actuate. Their feet is nicer, it's slightly thicker, more rounded, so it just it covers more area, so it just feels nicer to play with. And the texture was like the only thing I hate, which is why I painted myself the XD3 to this purple, and when you put the LED on, it's like Evangelion, you know? But the texture is like the only problem I've had with the mouse. And the weight, 83 grams and 87 isn't that big of a deal. You won't be able to feel that 4 grams difference sometimes, but because the mouse is larger, you can honestly feel that it's a heavier mouse. It's just that it kind of hard to, like the pill that's hard to swallow for me is they have holes, but such a small battery and wasted on feature that I won't see people use unless it's like the first day. They'll be all gimmick and then just put once and let this mouse be. I feel like they should really just get rid of that left hand support and give me a better battery and maybe a lighter weight, because 400 milliamp hour compared to 730 is a huge difference. And yeah, I just love the XD3 too much. Again, but overall, do I recommend this? I do. If you need an upgrade to a wireless mouse and you want like a full Tecware setup, because why not? Tecware is a pretty good company. I'm pretty happy with this mouse. Slight feature that I don't like: smaller battery, build quality, and like the side buttons really do for me. But overall speaking, it's a very good gaming mouse, and unless you start to go a little bit more high end, this is a pretty good way to start to get into this ambidextrous wireless shape, because I personally feel like Fantech XD3 over this. But if you like how the shape looks like, and if you somehow can try this mouse out there, I really do recommend you to give it a try, because if this larger shape fits your hand perfectly fine, I would recommend this. But yeah, Tecware, really decent mouse, really like it, but Fantech XD3 over this. I'm joking, but hope you guys find this video helpful. If you guys have any questions regarding the mouse, or if you have anything to correct me about, leave them down in the comment section below. I'll answer them as fast as I can, or whenever I see them. And leave a like if this video helped, or a dislike if it doesn't fit your style or something. And if you haven't subscribed already, why not? It's free, and I do more review content, so it's really fun to be doing this. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.